So we're here with the amazing songwriter. Oh, I've got the fucking mic in your face there. Yeah, it's just fucking there's your hair there. Alright, so we're here with the amazing songwriter Ben Whitley. Talk
Hello.
about some of your tunes,
Yeah.
and your songwriting process. Yours is a name that's come up a lot already when I've been talking to other people. Because I feel like you might be the most prolific songwriter in the scene.
No, Liam Sweeney.
Liam Sweeney. I mean, Liam's got a few tunes as well, but I feel like you write at a pace much faster than a lot of other people. Do you think so?
Yeah, probably more than the average.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think you told me once that you try to sit down and write every day.
Yeah, I did at one point.
And, you know, you've just turned 20 and you've got 2 albums out already.
Yeah, and a live one.
And a live one as well. So, I mean, a lot of people, you know, will have barely wrote one song by the time they're your age. Where does your drive come from to, like, and your creative output, how does that develop, like?
I think because I've only been playing for probably 3 or 4 years now. So it's all new, everything's new to me, so it's exciting. It's like when you get a new toy, you want to play with it, you want to figure it out as much as you can.
Right. Do you get, like, obsessive over something that you enjoy, where, like, it doesn't feel like work?
Throughout life, yeah. With that, before music, it was, if it was a sport, I'd be into a sport deeply. And then before that, when I started, I was like, when I was 6, it was dance.
Right.
Yeah, believe it or not.
That's funny, all right.
Bit of Michael Jackson and stuff.
Oh, so can you moonwalk?
That was the one thing, that was the one thing I could never do, so I give it up.
Right.
And then after it, I done magic, like card tricks and that.
Right. Cool.
And like, because I used to learn in that place on Renshaw Street, that's now the Liffey.
Oh, I know, yeah.
So I used to learn card tricks in there, and then after a bit, I just swerved that off. But when it was new to me, I was like learning tricks every day. So then when I picked up guitar, it was like, learn as many songs as I can, and then I think that's another thing, learning songs. The more songs you learn, I think the more you're able to write.
Yeah, you pick up different chord changes where you'll be like,
progressions.
this you know, they fit together well. So as you're writing, you know, oh, maybe I'll try this chord from this other song and see how it.
The amount of chords I've robbed, it's criminal.
Right. And then, how long into your guitar playing did you start playing the harmonica?
2 weeks.
So it was like, and then, I mean, I was talking to Thomas Bradley, the Thomas Bradley project. We mentioned how, like, I feel like, you know, you get compared to Bob Dylan.
Not half, yeah. Bob Dylan.
Yeah, that was what I said. And it's not just like, you know, you're playing with a harmonica, but you look folky. The aesthetic. I mean, had you discovered Bob Dylan around the time when you started playing?
Yeah, here's the thing. Because at the first band I discovered was obviously everyone's Liverpool's first band, the Beatles.
The Beatles, yeah.
And yeah, when you're playing guitar for the first week, that's not the band you want to learn. You can't learn their progressions.
Yeah, that's hard.
So the book after I had that was Bob Dylan, and it was like Mr. Tambourine Man, 3 chords. It's like the first 3 chords you learn. I was like, because it was so transferable. You listen to the record, and straight away you'd be able to play the song word for word back, like without having the whistles and all that.
Yeah, and you don't need, like with the Beatles, they've got harmonies and weird instruments and
it's just close to the thing that you can get it.
Right. And then, so when I heard, when I listened to your recent album, and I was listening to the lyrics on some of the songs, so like going back, right?
Yeah.
I was like, where's Ben from? Now I've talked to you about the inspiration and the meaning behind your songs. Now, a lot of it, am I right in saying it's not like things that have necessarily happened to you? There might be like stories.
Yeah, because I might be a bit boring to people, so I might well tell someone else's story, you know. I've only lived 20 years, someone's lived a lot longer.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a kind of saying that's like, you have to have lived some of a life before you can kind of like put yourself into your songs. Do you believe that in years to come, you could sit down and write a song where it's like this literally like, you know, if you go for a bad breakup or something?
Oh yeah, I could probably come back on it, yeah. And I think it'd be even easier.
Yeah.
Because I'll know all the details firsthand instead of trying to guess.
Right, and then like, you know, in comparison to someone like John Witherspoon, who's like very much like a lot of these songs, it's like, this is a real thing that happened to me on this day, or this is a real person that I know. and here's all the details about this person that I know.
Yeah.
Could you find yourself like turning to that type of songwriting?
Yeah, probably at some point. I've just not lived enough.
It's a funny way to put it, but I mean, I guess there's a bit of kind of I don't know, maturity to that idea of like you know, you kind of, I mean, going back to Bob Dylan would have like some of these like songs and premises where it would be like, you know, I've walked 1,000 miles in the miles of a graveyard. Now, he was young when he wrote that. He hadn't walked that many miles, hadn't he? You know, so like...
Neither did the Proclaimers, and they said they walked 500 miles.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then, so yeah, I was thinking, where's Ben from? Where's he going back to? Or has he come back here from, has he lived abroad for a while and he's coming back? So when you sit down, you said that you'll like write poetry and then turn the poetry into music.
Yeah, man.
So the words come first and then the chords come after.
Yeah, the music. And the last thing to come is usually the melody, because it'll get changed so many times.
Right.
But the words always stays. So I'll probably do like a one rough cut with the words, and the words will never change. So like Sitting by the Fire, them words have never changed.
Right.
Not even after recording or before recording. The only times he changed if I forget them.
Right, so it might like, you know, the melody like da 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 da. That was it might have started with something else in some of these songs, and you're like, oh no, this is the melody that fits better.
Well, because I know I was going to do this, I actually thought, because I don't really think about my own songs that much, I actually sat back and thought about going back. And you know, I actually figured out how I wrote it. It was because that was one of the very few songs that I had the music part first before the words. So what I was trying to do was, I was trying to learn new tricks on the harmonica, and there's a trick called chugging, which is what, like, when they sit on the porch in the south, they'll do like a train.
Right.
So I think it sounds like a train. Might as well write a song about like trains going back somewhere.
Right.
So it matches the music instead of the words matching.
I see, yeah. No, that's interesting. And then I've mentioned before how I seen you first in the Jacaranda. And I've got to be honest with you, right? My first reaction was jealousy.
Oh,
I was jealous because, I mean, like I said, like the whole room stopped, right? And I really mean this. It was like there's a bunch of performers going up and everyone's singing their songs. And then you got up and like someone who was working there stopped what they were doing. Like there was a girl, thinks she was working the soundboard or something, and she's got her phone out. And it's like, you know, this guy's playing now. And like everyone went quiet and you kind of, the room stood still while you were playing. And I swear to God, it was brilliant. And you played Sitting by the Fire.
Yeah, that was probably the first time I played it also.
Yeah. And I mean, some of these tunes, like, they've got like this charm to them that like you know, it doesn't just sound folky with the harmonica and the guitar, but like it's you know, that's Sitting by the Fire. You could imagine someone like at a campfire or something in the dark, just being and you're just all gathered round, and it's like, here's my little folk tune, you know what I mean?
I actually wrote that sitting in front of a fire. That's the funny thing, on a ukulele.
Oh, nice.
In my nan's house.
So do you ever use other instrumentation, or it's mainly a guitar when you're writing?
When it's those folkier tunes, it's just the guitar. And it's not even melody, I'll just play chord progressions, you know, G, C, D and simple.
Yeah.
Or just change the timing a tiny bit. And then if I put a bit of harmonica on it, that's where the melody comes in, because it's such a fine instrument.
Right.
So any like wind instrument or piano is usually good for melody. Not that I get my hands on many, but...
Yeah. I know John Witherspoon said he'll write a lot on piano and then transfer it to guitar. Do you envision yourself branching out in terms of the instruments that you'll learn and play?
Oh,
You're still so young, like.
I feel like the more instruments I learn, the different tunes. Because right now I'm only really good at guitar, so I'm writing guitar songs.
Right.
Sort of those folkier tunes. I could probably write like a more upbeat pop song, but I just don't have the instrumentation at the minute.
Right, and then you'll write and record the songs in this bare bones kind of, it's you, the guitar, and the harmonica.
Keeping it
simple. And you could have the whole album like that. Whereas, you know, other songwriters in the scene, they'll write a song on the guitar, but then they're adding the
Yeah.
drums and the bass and the piano and
Yeah.
all this other thing. Do you, I mean, do you think about like how you'd expand your sound as you go on and you start releasing
Now
more
I do
albums?
a lot more now. With the first ones, it was just get them out as quick as possible. But because I'd only ever written them and played them on a guitar, I'd only ever experienced them on the guitar. So as soon as I started playing like ditto on places where people sit in and play lead lines and stuff, you start to realise, they can be shown in a different light.
Yeah.
So I could write tunes now and think, this could have an organ on, or what not. But it's about putting it on it, which I hadn't done.
So, Nobody Loves Me But Myself. It's a bit of a downer, isn't it?
I know. Alex Barber said to me, he said that was a brilliant song. The first time he heard me play, he's like, that's a brilliant song. Like that's the first time I heard you write like your most personal song. And then I stopped and I was like, wait, is this a personal song? I just wrote the words because they sounded like cool.
Yeah, no, I think it
might be about me, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think writing a song saying nobody wants me but myself is a bit better saying than nobody wants you but yourself.
Right.
Pointing the finger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's, first person, second person, third person. There's like me, I in a song, or you.
And then
there's, or then there's like he, him, or the person's name. You know what I mean? So you can write a song like
so many ways.
Yeah. Do you think about, or even like going back to like if it's a depressing song or a happy song? Some people when they're making an album, they're thinking this whole album has to have like reflect a certain mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think like, this song will fit into this project, or this one's the wrong mood for it, or is every song just whatever comes to you at the time?
Yeah, pretty much. I try and keep it as simple as possible. Like, so once I'd wrote the first one, I'd not written any other songs. So those, whatever it is, 11, 12 songs on that album was the only songs I ever had.
Right.
So once I put that album out, I was like, well, shit, I've got to write new songs.
Right.
But I never thought about like no concept ideas or nothing. But now I've got 2 out. I'm going to try and branch out and make it a bit more interesting. It's got to be honest, getting boring now.
I think people are really into the stuff that you're doing. And as I say, at such a young age, I mean, the future's bright. What's this big things?
Big things coming.
Big things coming. Like,
I don't know.
I think that's like the mantra of so many musicians.
What is the big thing?
Yeah, I'm
still waiting for it to come.
I think like you want to give the impression as a musician that like, I think because you can't show your work and all the time, you want to show a finished product, right?
Yeah.
So like it's like, trust me, I am working on something. You know what I mean? Like trust me, like things are coming.
I don't know how big the thing is, but something's coming.
Something's coming, yeah.
Stay tuned, guys. I don't know. I think someone said it to me. I don't know if I thought that's quite funny.
Yeah. And then big things are always around the corner. So you've started. You've joined Draft 5, Shannon's band.
Shout out.
Has that influenced you at all?
Not half. Got myself a little Telecaster now.
Nice. I've got a telly as well. So you're playing some lead lines and
trying to.
Yeah.
Trying to. No, it's just so interesting to learn it, like, and then that's just expanded my music for acoustic. Like I've not really been playing acoustic guitar. Well, Ben Whitley goes electric.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Ben Whitley goes electric. So we can imagine it. And then it'll be like an organ next, or
I hope so. Billy Preston organ is what I've been wanting on like tunes for a long time, but I just need like a soul singer, or I need to learn how to sing soul. I think that's why I do folk. It just fits my range and that.
Yeah. Well, that did you have to develop the way that you sung to be like?
Oh God, no! I wish I could sing. I actually do. That's one of the things I consciously think about, singing, and like the techniques behind it. But I just can't keep it to stick. So I just do me a bit. That's why my favourite songs are the ones I'm just talking in.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own way of singing. But what I've found is that certain groups in this scene, some people will like sing similar to each other, and you can see that they're kind of influenced. Whereas like
Yeah, you can tell who they're listening to.
yeah,
Which
whereas
is a good thing, but
I mean, do you ever consider like doing some type of switch up where you're like, I'm gonna try in this different range or something like
sing
that,
like an operatic thing.
or like like so for example,
I think if the song calls for it, yeah,
yeah.
I might rightly so. Like there's a lot of people got the Lars thing going on, which is sick, and I love
That's
it's
what I mean.
So heavy.
It's like like a
I might go to it. I might go to it at some point.
or a bit of like a Liam Gallagher, or some people kind of sound
I can't
like
let
that.
that one stick, but yeah, a lot of people do the Liam Gallagher.
I mean, even like you don't sing very loudly, right?
I know. I wish I could.
I mean, like, would you ever feel like somewhere down the line you do it like, for example, Twist and Shout is a lot different than Imagine, but they're both sung by John Lennon. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
like, would you think that some point down the line you might do some type of like a loud, if you do go electric, like just switching your vibe up completely and trying.
See, if I could expand my like vocal range and be comfortable singing in like most styles, the amount of songs would be like triple, quadruple what I've got. I'd be writing all happy tunes, fast tunes, rap songs and everything.
Yeah. So what have you got like in terms of like future projects? You've got your 2 albums out now. Go and check out these amazing projects.
I know, it feels like so long ago since they come out.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to a few people about how once you put a project out,
You kind of leave it.
yeah, you feel weird about promoting it, even though it
After
only
the
came
fact.
out. Yeah, it's only been a few months
Yeah.
that you put your project out, and it's like on to the next one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know what you, but the thing is, it's like, okay, when's it come out? It come out like March, I think. So for everyone else, that's new in March, but I've had them tunes since December.
Yeah.
So I've had them a bit extra longer, so they're going out of date for me a bit more.
Yeah.
And like I said, no one listens to your own tune more than you do. So the amount of times I've played going back and that, it's like
Right. Yeah. It's stale.
I get bored of it before anyone else does.
Right.
I hope no one gets bored of it. Like,
No, it's a fucking great tune. Yeah.
but there are some tunes which I could play every night. That you write yourself. I don't know if you ever write a song and you just think at the time, okay, it's just a song, it's going to go on to this. And then later you look back and go, wow, where'd that come from? Because I even surprise myself sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm nowhere near as prolific as you. I've only put 3 songs out, and you've got like 2 albums. And then I don't really play them songs. I feel like the reason I'm like trying to help promote other artists is because I feel, and it's part of the last question, is like promoting yourself is kind of like, it's hard and weird. And like the social media aspect of, it's a rat. I was going to say there's a squirrel, but it's literally a rat right there. Yeah. We're in the in the fucking,
we're in the woods.
in the sticks here. It's mad that I wish I could have got that on the camera. Yeah, so like the idea of like putting yourself out there and then like marketing yourself and being this like media thing is weird.
It's
and
like imposter syndrome.
yeah, and like to be able to like, that rat's fucking freaking me out.
Shall I get it?
Big things happening here. Yeah, so like this idea of like kind of like, do you feel weird about recording yourself singing and putting it online? Or like, are you it's like you don't get like do you get nervous when you perform?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not if I'm comfortable in the song, no. But there's certain days, there'll be a day where I'm right up for playing guitar, and then there'll be days where I can't be bothered. Yeah. That's the good thing about open mics, because they're on every night, but you don't, if you don't want to, you don't have to do it.
Right.
I'd hate to be like tied down to something that you didn't want to do, but no, as far as recording wise, I've only recorded twice and got 2 albums out of it, so it's alright, isn't it? Yeah.
And you say you record the guitar and the vocal at the same time?
Yeah. There's one time for the second album with Ali, I went in, and because like we'd not recorded together ever, he was like, okay, we'll just track some guitars. And I looked at him like, track, what do you mean train track, what's this?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh no, you record the guitar to a metronome and then you stand up and sing it. And because I'm in his house, and I love the lad, I love you, Ali, I just tried it and I thought, like, this isn't for me, this is so out of the norm. So
Yeah.
I ended up just miking up a guitar, miking up me, 3 hours to every tune, just getting through them.
Right.
1 takes.
1 take? Nice.
Yeah, yet again, he strikes again.
Brilliant.
I would like to see what would happen if I'd done like 5 takes or something. Get a really good vocal line or a really good clean guitar. But that's what tries to keep them real, especially when they're raw. When it's just guitar and vocal and harmonica, you can kind of get away with it. But if I'm having like full band stuff,
Yeah, then it's stuff the mic bleed between it is difficult. But I mean, it sounds great in the songs you've released. There's no like phasing issues that
I'm really, really happy that I'm around such good musicians that know what they're doing, because I don't really know what I'm doing.
Would you, speaking of that, do you feel like are you picking up influences from the people you're listening to?
Yeah. I've probably been influenced more from open mic people than I have outside. Actual like people on Spotify and that. Like there's, especially as guitar goes, like Paul, just watching him play and then you pick it up, and then going to see gigs is cool. Like the stamp and that.
Yeah, and then speaking of open mics, you've just recently took over the Belvedere open mic.
Oh yeah.
Which is not far from here, and we've got to get going there soon.
Time is of the essence.
How has that kind of influenced you? Do you like?
I'm made up because that was my favourite open mic before I even hosted it. So to now host it and get free drinks, it's just wonderful. And it's always my friends, and there's always new people coming in, and you never really know what's going to happen. And I hate to be a bum and tell people like be quiet, and be like a snob, but it's nice because most nights people there are family. Like we know each other.
It is like a family, isn't it?
We all appreciate each other, so everyone's very respectful. I don't have to say nothing, so I've got the easiest job in the world, but it's the best job in the world. So I've got a job that you like, you never work a day in your life.
There we go. Well, on that note, I think we can wrap it up.
Why not?
Can you clap for me?